Hi there, I'm Martha Schwer, and I want to talk about online discussion boards. In this course, we're going to be using a number of online discussion boards. And although it seems really easy to do, I want to talk about our expectations when we have online discussion. The art of writing on the discussion board is to keep the conversation going. And it's sort of the heart of what we're doing in this course. So here are some guidelines I want to go over with you. So I've got some visual aids here. First of all, play the game, okay? Think of the discussion board activity as a game of non-competitive tennis, in which the goal isn't to win the game, but it's just to get some exercise by both you and so that others can keep the ball in play as long as possible. So that also involves the chase. Good discussions, they always involve some excitement. You are chasing something. They need to evolve into a space where you pick up the scent of an idea and then you chase it in an aggressive manner. And sometimes you're going really fast and sometimes you're just reckless, but you're always putting some energy into the chase. So you don't have to capture anything, but you should put some energy into what you're saying there, how you're saying it, the things that you're bringing in. The other thing that you need to do is you need to, let me get my next visual aid here, you need to practice a variety of shots, okay? Don't just put things out there and then never come back to look at it again. Do different things with how you're responding to people who are responding to your question. So when somebody posts something on the discussion board, don't always take the same tack when you're responding. The other thing is just talk. Sometimes people get so caught up in making sure that everything on the discussion board is free from any spelling errors or grammatical errors that it really shuts them down from expressing themselves. Now, I'm not saying that you should use texting language with really short abbreviations that nobody can understand, but the occasional typo or spelling error or grammar mistake, not a problem. Just talk to me like you would if we were conversing face to face. Assume the best. When you go into the discussion board, assume that everyone that you're going to be talking to has done their homework, that they have done the reading that they're supposed to be doing, that they've had some time to think about what's going on. Don't go in assuming that other people are freeloading or are responding from a naive standpoint. Just assume that they know what they're doing, and focus on telling people something that they might not already know. So that means bringing in your own experience too. Read everything. Now you may be thinking, oh, can't do that. But that is exactly why I put you into a small group. I want you to read all of the posts that are happening in your discussion area. And so I've limited the number of participants in your group so that you can get through a reasonable number of posts. So keep reading. When you respond, I want you to add to the discussion. Don't repeat what the other person is saying. And I mean not just in that one thread, but anywhere else on the discussion board. So make sure that you're aware of what's already been said and try and add to the discussion. Respond and include everybody. I don't want you to just respond to the people who respond to your post. I want you to respond to everybody in that discussion board. So if there are posts that nobody has responded to yet, respond to one of them first, okay? Make sure that everybody gets some dialogue and some feedback on whatever they're posting. weave. I want you to not only read what others before you have posted, but I want you to try and weave the work of others, what other people have posted, into what you are trying to post. So you can refer to what other people have said elsewhere in that particular discussion forum. Volley. So again, we're using that tennis metaphor, which is kind of funny since I've tried to learn to play tennis. I don't know how many times, and I'm still awful. But volley means keep that conversation going. Sometimes people have the idea that the discussion board is like a mailbox where you just drop off your letter and then it's just going to go somewhere and I don't really have to do anything else. That's not what an online discussion board is. And I think sort of understanding the differences between what you were expecting and the best practice and what it actually is important. So keep that conversation going in a non-competitive way, obviously. But when somebody responds to your post, make sure you acknowledge that posting, even if you don't have that much to add, acknowledge it. Measure your words. In the past, sometimes we've had some students who will write probably 1,000 words in one giant posting, and that's it. They don't respond to other people, and they have just said everything they have to say in one 1,000 word posting. Other people look at that, they really don't have anything else to say. So here's a good rule. Keep your postings between 150 and 250 words. If you keep a smaller, that's like 1 or 2 paragraphs, in some cases just 1 paragraph. When you keep them smaller and more focused, it invites people to comment on what you're doing, and you start having a dialogue rather than a soliloquy, which is not what a discussion board is for. Let's just talk about the address and signing. Now, the discussion board, when you're discussing something, you don't just walk into a room and start talking. You address the people who are in the room. So, hi, Joan, I really liked your post. Look at the name on who's responding to that discussion board and use it in your post somewhere. And at the end, go ahead and don't hesitate to put your first name or however it is that you'd like to be referred to. One of the things about Blackboard is that it limits how we can change those first names and how they display. So it's particularly important to sign your postings if you're using a nickname or if you prefer a nickname, because it might not always show up in the name in Blackboard. So make sure that you do that. And then finally, the last thing is to chunk. Okay, the discussion board is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And there's a couple of advantages to that. You can visit it frequently, right? You can visit it several times a day, several times a week. Every time you open up that computer to work, you can just quickly pop in there. But don't wait until there is a mountain of posts that you have to respond to, because that will really drop your level of motivation and you'll get totally overwhelmed. There are some new features in Blackboard which will help you sort for just the things that you haven't read, and so that can also help you learn how to use those, and that will be coming up quite shortly. I hope that this helps you understand what a discussion board actually is and how to use it effectively. I really look forward to what you're going to talk about.